This is the Model D from Behringer. It's a 3-oscillator analog monosynth, and it's based on the original Model D from Moog, which was released in 1970, and is very probably the most famous synthesizer of all time. There are a number of reasons for this. Firstly, because it was the first ever portable synth, which really revolutionised the way synths were used in music, because all of a sudden musicians could take them out on tour. It was also extremely affordable compared with all the other synths that were available at the time, so it was much more accessible to a lot more people. But the main reason the original Model D is the most famous synthesizer of all time is the sound. And the Model D from Behringer is an extremely faithful recreation of the original Model D. In fact, it sounds identical. The Model D is capable of producing all kinds of sounds. It can do heavy, gritty sounds, courtesy of the 3 independently tunable oscillators, the world famous filter, and this nice drive section in the middle. But what the Model D really excels at is warm sounds. In fact, I'm convinced that the reason people refer to the warmth of analog synths is because of the Model D sound. So as mentioned earlier, the Model D is a monosynth, but as oscillator 2 and 3 are independently tunable, it is actually possible to tune it to play 3-note chords. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the Model D. So first of all, we've got the USB connector for connecting it to a computer. It can receive MIDI through this, but obviously it doesn't send audio because it's an analog synth. Next to that, we've got the traditional 5-pin MIDI in and through. Underneath there, we've got a big tune knob, which is used to tune the whole synth. And you can actually use this switch here to take oscillator 3 out of that tuning. Underneath that is the glide knob, which obviously controls the rate of portamento, so the way that a note glides into another note. The rest of the knobs here, mod mix, mod depth and LFO rate, obviously all relate to the LFO and the modulation, as do the 2 switches here. And the switch at the bottom here switches the LFO waveform between a triangle and a square wave. Next section is the oscillator bank, where we can switch waveforms for oscillator 1 and 2 from a triangle wave, a kind of sawtooth wave that's in between a triangle and a saw wave, and then 3 different widths of pulse wave. Oscillator 3 is a little bit different in this regard because it replaces that shark tooth wave with a more traditional ramp wave. Next, we've got the mixer, where we've got individual volume controls for each of the 3 oscillators, and we can switch the oscillators on and off here. We've also got volume control for the noise. We can switch the noise on and off, and the noise comes in both pink and white flavours. Next to that, we've got that world famous filter. It's a 24 dB ladder filter, and we can switch it between low and high pass mode. We've got the knob there for the cut-off frequency. Next to that, we've got emphasis, which is better known as resonance. And then the contour knob controls how much of an effect the filter envelope will have. Speaking of the envelopes, they're not the 4-stage envelopes that we've become used to, the ADSR, attack, decay, sustain, release. This is 1970s tech, so we've just got ADS envelopes. We've got these switches on the side here that we can change that decay to a release effectively. And finally, we've got the output section where we've got an overall master volume, there's headphone volume, and then we've got this switch here which enables you to tune the Model D by giving you a steady middle A at 440 Hz. So while the Behringer Model D is an extremely faithful recreation of the original Moog Model D, Behringer have actually taken it a little bit further. You probably noticed there are patch points along the front panel there. The Behringer Model D is actually a semi-modular synth, and it's Eurorack compatible, which means you can patch it up with other Eurorack synths and Eurorack gear for even more sonic adventures. So if you want to pick up a Model D, I'll put a link in the description where you can get one, and if you have any questions at all, ask me in the comments. Thanks for watching, see you next time.